Hello?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, what's up? Sit to hop on?
Um, minutes with this chat. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, you felt like I didn't address any of the points that you brought up. What is?
No.
Did you miss the whole conversation, or?
No, you didn't actually address the substantive
Okay, what
point I
substantive
raised.
thing do you feel like I didn't address?
On the question of the possibility of third parties and whether people should be investing their time and energy in them.
So my answer was you shouldn't be investing your time and energy into a third party, because by doing that, you're necessarily pulling away support from a party that's more likely to agree with you. There's no guarantee that at any point in even the near or distant future, that party is going to become viable. So all you're doing is ceding ground to people that you're less likely to agree with while you try to work on some project for a third party.
Yeah,
That was
but
my answer.
that assumes that you can say that that assumes that it is necessarily true that a third party isn't going to be possible, and
And
it
yours
also
assumes that a third party necessarily will be. But I mean, if we look at the data and the
no no
history, I mean, who's more likely to be correct there?
so as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to politics, there's absolutely no guarantee of anything either way, right?
Okay, wait, no, stop.
Yeah.
Can we speak in reasonable probabilities?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so reasonably, what's more likely? That a third party will materialize in the next 4 or 5 election cycles or not?
Well, okay, this is why I said you didn't address my point, because I never made.
I addressed your point earlier. You just didn't like what I said.
A third party will materialize on the basis of the actions of the agent for whom this is a meaningful judgment, or
Wait,
a
hold
third
on,
party will.
speak
Yeah.
in English.
Okay,
Will
I'll speak in English.
materialize for an agent of which this is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
meaningful...
Let me simplify that. I'll go ahead and
Yeah.
simplify.
No,
it.
you don't have to simplify it. Make it make
Yeah, yeah.
sense, because what you just said was meaningless. Go ahead.
No, it wasn't meaningless, because
It
the
was
question
meaningless.
is it going to materialize with or without your participation? And then you're going to make the judgment of, okay, I should help and participate in building a third party. Because I'm not actually saying that it's going to materialize independently of the actions of the people I'm trying to address in the first
hold
place.
on. You're not... Okay, stop thinking in big sentences and big words, because you're missing everything I'm saying. So
Okay.
what you just said, I don't think it's going to materialize without the actions of other people. Obviously, I agree with you, because
Without your actions. The people I'm trying to address.
Oh, you. Wait, when you say you, hold on, I'm sorry. When you say you, do you mean like me personally, or you as in like a general listener?
I mean the audience that I'm trying to address.
Okay, yes. Okay, yes. So my initial problem, my main contention was that if you take people out of the political system to work on a third party, then they're necessarily going to be taking away support from a party that they would more likely agree with, ceding power to the other party. That was my whole issue.
Yeah, if we accept that the two parties that exist now are the only parties that are ever going to exist, sure. But my whole point was that the only way we could ever have a chance of a third party is if people take that risk.
Okay, but you're asking people to take a massive risk and forego real political power in the hopes that 10 years, 50 years from now, a viable third party materializes?
The reason I consider that reasonable is I think if you ask anyone who's willing to be honest about it, the idea that the current two-party system is going to be like sustainable in the long run and that it's going to be able to contain America's current political contradictions, I don't think anyone, even establishment
What does long
ideologists.
run mean? How long haven't these two political parties been around for over like 150 years or whatever?
Yeah, but this was the argument I also brought up during the debate, is that if you look at the historical reasons for these fundamental political realignments and rise of third parties in the United States, we are ticking all of the boxes. Like right now, the conditions are right based on the precedent in the past. Like if there's ever a time for something like a third party to arise, because the current two parties aren't able to adequately give expression to the political differences that have arisen, it's now.
Okay, where is your evidence for that happening? Where is the interest for the third parties? Where is that happening at?
So this is another thing you really didn't address during the debate, is that you're making it seem like the third party is the essential thing and not the inability for the current two parties to adequately address.
But I feel like there's not a problem. The two parties right now do address, I think, the vast majority of American thought.
Where's your evidence for that?
Well, if I try to think of like what is some ideology that's not encapsulated by either of the two parties, can you give me some solid examples?
Yeah,
I think
well,
you're confusing
yeah.
like the political gridlock right now for there not being parties that
Well,
actually
yeah, well,
represent American thought.
sure, but the thing is that I'm actually not thinking of this in terms of ideology. I'm thinking of this in terms of the relationship between the material interests of the various social and cultural formations in the United States and the political forms that are given representation to them. So, for example, this is actually an example of this. If you look at what's going on in New York recently, right? I think this was a week or two ago. You had demonstrations by people from all across the political aisle: Trump people, Black Lives Matter, several others, discontented Democrats that were all marching against the vaccine mandates in New York. And that's not specifically just because they decided to agree
Yeah,
on a
but
certain
like,
ideology.
is there a one political party right now you think that is anti-vaccine mandate? Like,
Well, I don't think so. Destiny.
this
So
is
when
like the worst example you
I
could
want to
give. I'm just
simplify
saying. Yeah.
this. Yeah, I want to simplify this as much as I
Hold on.
can.
Stop
Yeah,
saying. Okay,
yeah.
I have to be clear because I'm not letting
I just
people
don't
to
want you to
do.
complain that I'm trying to derail because it's gonna.
No,
Yeah.
I understand, but I'm just trying to keep it clear. When you keep saying, let me simplify this, you're not simplifying anything. You're switching to a different explanation because what you just said before
No,
doesn't
no, I'm
explain what
not.
you think it does. Yeah,
I'm
okay.
trying to explain why you
Hmm.
can't say it's just because of being anti-vax or vaccines. So if I'm a materialist, I'm going to attribute a materialist when it comes to understanding politics, which I am. I'm going to attribute the reasons for why people are protesting against vaccine mandates, not in terms of having a specific anti-vax ideology, but in terms of, for example, a breakdown of the connection between the, let's say, majority of people and the institutions, specifically the state, medical, and it's just, I guess you could just say this general establishment. Like it's just a breakdown of trust between those two things, right? And the reasons for that breakdown can be understood if you want to go down that route. I don't want you to accuse me of trying to
Yeah, so just to be
detract.
super clear, what
Yeah.
you're trying to establish here is that there's some thought here that isn't captured by one of the two political parties,
No,
right?
it's not. So that's what I would consider idealism. It's not actually just about thought. It's about the material interests of people. It's not about thoughts.
Okay, you're expressing a material interest that you don't think is represented by either of the two political parties.
Yes.
Okay, so what is your example of that? So it's not just the anti-vax thing; it's one step further.
Yeah, it's an ability to make it's an ability to give expression to the American peoples and the American working class, I would say, their discontent with the current political establishment, as well as all of the economic formations that are part
Okay,
of that
but
establishment.
there were last election cycle, there were two massive anti-establishment candidates. There was one on the left, Bernie Sanders, and one on the right, Donald Trump. How can you
I
say that this isn't represented in either of the main political parties?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't consider Bernie Sanders an anti-establishment candidate in 2020.
Okay, he
Um,
absolutely was, but okay.
but I do agree that Trump did more or less still represent the anti-establishment candidate, but Trump lost the election in 2020. So, as far as what the future of that's MAGA movement is concerned, I think it's things are kind of up in the air right now. And I do think on the current course of things, there's going to be a huge red wave in 2022, and Trump will probably be reelected in 2024. But I don't think that can be avoided by doubling down with the Democrats. I don't think the Democrats have any chance of being able to stop that.
I don't think any of us can say what'll happen in 2024. In 2022, it's hard to say. Biden's approval is low right now, so that seems to be the course they're headed on. But none of this is evidence for the requirement of a third party or that a third party is
Well,
going to
let
represent.
me put it this way. Do you think that there's going to be a red wave in 2022?
I don't know. Right now, it looks like there could be, but it depends. If the supply bottleneck gets fixed and the economy starts to pick up and cool
So
off,
I think what I'm
then
trying to say is that whether or not the small number of people who are going, I'm actually going to be able to reach between now and then, focus their effort on trying to build a third party and participate in that is not going to make a difference as far as whether there's going to be a red wave is concerned. There will probably be a red wave, most certainly, no
right.
matter
Okay.
what
So,
they
what do
do.
you think a red wave is coming for? What reason?
I think that the Biden administration, I think that in 2020, a lot of people were on the fence about giving, whether Trump should be removed and giving Biden a chance. But I think now a lot of people's complete rejection of the Democrats and Biden has just been completely cemented. People
Yeah, but what do you think
simply,
that rejection is based on?
I think it's based on the current the kind of economic and
Yeah, economic. So
yeah.
assuming inflation gets taken care of, um, and everybody's able to buy the shit they want, and the economy's doing okay, why would we assume that there would still be a big red wave?
Well, because the source of the economic crisis isn't just because of one problem like inflation. You're looking at a global supply chain crisis. You're looking at a complete change in the global economic system and
I don't think we're
things like.
looking at a complete change. We're just seeing like a pretty historic shift in demand right now that's caused, I guess, like a big supply bottleneck that I mean it can be addressed. Like it's happening. Who knows how long it'll take, but
I don't buy it. I think even the people, the Davos people, I think even they envision that. I know I don't know what your stance is on this whole Great Reset stuff and whether it's a real thing or not, but there are already things that people in power are envisioning for a fundamental transformation of the
like
economy.
what? What do you mean?
Well, it's well, you kind of complained when I brought it up before, but it's vaguely called the Fourth Industrial Revolution. It's the new set of policies and the new set of
Yeah, what is
changes.
this? What policy? What do you mean? Like what changes?
Specifically, for example, in relation to the nature of work and how people work, right? So with the gig economy and the Fourth Industrial Revolution, people are going to increasingly there's going to be an increasing like merger between people's living spaces, like smart cities and where people buy things from and their workplaces, where people it's kind of like a return of factory towns. So we're seeing an integration of like, for example, in the case of Amazon, campuses, Whole Foods, which Amazon also bought.
Right, but hasn't this been happening for like over a decade? Like, how long has there been like an Amazon, Google, Facebook campus for their workplace?
Based.
Also, do you really think it's going to carry over to like non-tech jobs, to every type of job, or
Um, as far as the well, yes, I do. I mean, at least the service industry, 100%. Yes. As far as
so
the
you think
heavy,
people that work at like McDonald's or Target are going to be living at McDonald's or Target?
no, they're not going to be living at McDonald's or Target, but McDonald's are probably going to be part of like a smart city that might have some kind of degree of private
We
ownership.
can barely like zone for fucking five-story apartments. How are we going to be building smart cities?
Well, I think the reason I'm bringing this up is because even they anticipate that all of these changes have to occur to overcome the like degree to which this crisis is going to pose a threat to the current order of things. So that's their ambition. I don't think they're going to be successful with the Great Reset or whatever, but they see this as like the only thing that's going to save. Like it's not something they believe they can address just with like, oh, we're just going to curb inflation, everything will go back to normal. They don't even believe there's going to be an ability to go back to normal, like how things used to be.
Um, okay. I can't argue against this, right? Because this is just a completely totally unfalsifiable claim. So I don't know what you want me to say, but I guess we'll
So
see what
it's
happens.
you're saying it's unfalsifiable, but I'm just trying
Mhm.
to make the point that even the people in power don't believe that this is just the current crisis can just easily be solved um, in the way that you're saying it can. I mean, do you
Okay. I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's a matter of whether or not we can up our supply chains to meet the kind of the unique demand that exists today. But I guess we'll
what
see.
do you think is the source of the supply chain crisis right now?
From my understanding, it's that there was because of the types of work that wasn't able to happen over the coronavirus pandemic, and because of the stimulus that's been given out to people, there is a unique shift from a demand from services to a demand to goods. And when all of that money that was split between services and goods before starts going towards goods, you end up with these huge bottlenecks where we weren't able to ship as much stuff around the world as what we previously were able to meet demand because demand shifted so much. So even if the overall global demand is relatively the same, the allocation of that demand to more physical goods has made it really hard for the global supply chain to keep up.
Okay, so what you're basically saying is, and I'm trying to simplify what I heard, right? Is you're saying that there has been a shift from services, the demand for services, to the demand for physical goods. So instead of
Hmm.
people spending money for service related goods, I guess is what you mean.
For services, yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to accumulate more physical goods, right?
Yeah, that's what people have been buying. Yeah.
So people have been buying more. But one of
More
the
physical goods, yeah.
yeah, so what are the services they're foregoing?
Um, I don't know. I would have to break it out. I'm not sure. maybe it's like going out getting massages, or maybe it's like buying, instead of buying from restaurants, maybe they're buying more groceries instead of, I don't know, stuff like that. That would be my guess, but I don't know. I haven't seen a breakout of like all the services that people aren't utilizing as much as before.
Yeah, because what is the source of your information on that? That this is like the main reason for the current supply chain crisis.
Is it the Federal Reserve site where you can see the shift in? Oh wait, I actually saved this shit now. Hold on. Where you can see a shift and change from the demands from goods and services. Are you Haas still on Discord?
Yes.
Did you get that message that I just sent you?
Yeah, I got it.
Wait, did this even work?
No, that didn't work.
Oh shit, is this opening things oh my god, it saves it locally. Hold on, sorry, 1 second. View online. I imagine you could probably go to the Fred site itself to like pull images like this. But so like these are the main talking points I've heard from economists. This comes from an article that Krugman's written, but you can look at the real personal consumption expenditure for durable goods versus services, and then you can see that like the services like dropped off incredibly hard and durable goods spiked up insanely hard. So
right,
even if yeah, go ahead.
But it's kind of hard for me to believe that this is the reason for the supply chain crisis specifically.
Why?
Because you also have to take into account when it comes to the supply chain crisis that this is a global this is because of global supply chains, and also because of the shift in work because of COVID, right? People weren't able to return to their jobs as usual to produce physical goods.
Yeah, but it's not a matter of just producing the same physical goods as before. We can see that the demand is like far greater than it used to be. So even if those same people had returned, there would still be a supply chain shortage.
Yeah, I mean, expenditures on durable goods. I don't know if this would be enough to cause that at a global level, though.
Why? Look, it's almost like 40% higher, 30% higher. Why would it not be? Or maybe if there are other explanations, I mean, I'd be interested to hear them, but...
And it looks like it's about 18% higher as of July 2021.
As of July 2021, if it was at 100 before and it's at like 118 now, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that's just for the United States, right? So I don't know if it's
real personal. Yeah, this is just for the U.S. Sure. I mean, it might not be a worldwide trend. Maybe in other countries but I mean, like this would explain like the goods inflation in the United States. But I mean, if we look at this graph, now I'm tying in just stuff that I know in general, so this might be incorrect.
Yeah.
But if we look at the graph, we see that it was way higher in January of 2021, and those demand has dropped pretty sharply. So as you said, now it's only 18% higher than where we might expect it to be. But if you can remember, several months ago, people were saying shit like lumber is going to destroy us. It's at all-time highs. We're never going to recover. And now the price of lumber has come down. The cost of lumber has come down pretty significantly too.
So. Here's the thing. From what I know about the supply chain crisis, the main issue has not been at the level of like the final products, but at things in the supply chain you don't that aren't like that go into the making of products, but also are related to things that aren't really so much about personal, like basic like tools you need to build things like that, things that go into goods, things that are needed for construction, things that are needed for infrastructure, those type of things. And also it also kind of begs the question of, did demand go up because of the scarcity that was already in place, or was it the reverse? Was it the demand first and then? Because I don't think this really measures demand.
Well, this is literally a direct measure of demand. What do you mean?
Because if there was a scarcity of goods, then people would just be having to pay more for those goods than they did before.
Well, but that's what's happening right now. Technically, you can get anything you want. It's just going to cost you a lot more, right?
But that wouldn't address the cause of the scarcity in the first place.
Well, sure, but I mean, like, if you have, so you pulled the source me on me, so I'll pull that on you. If you think there's a better alternative explanation, then you can feel free to shoot me something and I'll read it over. But like every economist that I've heard talk about this has talked about like this pretty concretely. Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
Anything else is just like a hypothetical. I mean, I don't know.
I'm looking for it right now.
But I mean, like, you have to understand that, like, if the world can support shipping so many goods and services, that even if that were to increase worldwide by 10%, that's going to be like a huge strain. It's not like you can just ramp up that level of delivery instantly, right? Because if you could ramp it up instantly, then there's a whole lot of waste if it's not being utilized, right?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Let's say that I'm delivering 100 bottles of milk a day in my truck. Let's say that tomorrow I get asked to deliver 200 bottles of milk a day, right? If I was able to accommodate that demand instantly, it probably shows that I'm being very wasteful when I'm only delivering 100 per day. Does that make sense? Because if I had the capability to do twice as much, why am I paying for all that extra capital just laying around, not being utilized? So I think it's fair to say that if there are these big bumps in aggregate demand of goods across the world, 10, 20, 30, 40% at times, then it probably makes sense that, you know, suppliers aren't able to meet those demands instantaneously. It's going to take a few months to get to that level.
No, I know, but it's a matter of the chicken or the egg, right? It's a matter of, is the reason people are spending more because they're consuming more, or is it because the goods that they would typically consume have just become cost that just sorry, the prices for those have increased.
Oh. Well, why would the prices just randomly increase?
Because of scarcity in the goods.
What does scarcity mean?
Like the goods that they want to purchase are not being produced in adequate quantities because of disruptions in the chain of production because of COVID.
Why would that decrease so much the consumption of services then?
Well, the decrease in the consumption of services can easily be explained by the lockdowns, right? And the long-term effect of the lockdowns.
Okay, but then aren't you kind of answering your chicken and the egg thing? If there is indeed a decrease in the consumption of services and people have a bunch of money lying around, aren't all those dollars going to chase the same number of goods? Like, I'm not saying you're wrong when you say scarcity, but I mean, like, scarcity always exists always for everything in the world, right? Except for for everything. Scarcity is like built into everything, right?
No, I know, but the COVID caused unique disruptions in the chains of production and like the ability to produce these goods in the first place.
Okay. All right. I don't. I mean, that's a cool hypothesis. I don't know what to say. If you want to give me something to read, or if you have a paper you publish, I can go over it. But yeah, I don't know what to.
Yeah, I was looking for one. That's why I was asking you to repeat yourself because I was
Okay.
was
Yeah,
trying
knock
to
yourself
find
out.
one.
I'm just playing
But
video games, so.
yeah. I mean, but you know, the main issue here is that you talk also about, speaking of the decrease in the service industry. I think an even better case for, like, if you're trying to say people have more money to like spend on physical goods, well, it's also because they're getting checks to stay at home, and that's actually
I
was
think
a
all the unemployment insurance has dropped off by now, right?
yeah. But at during the time in which this was happening, Biden actually said that this was deliberately because he wanted to tighten the labor market.
Uh, he said that he was paying out. He said he was deliberately paying out unemployment insurance to tighten the labor market.
Yeah, Biden said that the reason is deliberate, and it's to give employees more power in being able to negotiate wages to their employers.
But unemployment insurance wears off.
Well, I can find the exact quote from Biden if you want.
Sure, I'd be interested in reading that because that would be an unbelievably unpopular quote for him to say, as like employers everywhere are trying to find employees. We're gonna be like, oh yeah, we're doing that on purpose. Like,
Yeah,
seems like a really
yeah.
political suicide, but
Let me see. Biden market. Was this in the summer? It's surprising you didn't hear about this.
okay. Biden says deliberate employee negotiate labor wage unemployment search.
Okay, is this it? Biden aims to tilt the job market toward workers. This New York Times. According to increasing infrastructure left center scores, Here's Biden. Okay, this week the White House is planning to release an executive order focused on competition policy. One section says several provisions aimed at increasing competition in the labor market. The order will encourage the Federal Trade Commission to ban or limit non-compete agreements with employers that have increasingly used and recently used to hamper workers' ability to quit for a better job.
Yeah,
So,
that's getting rid of non-compete agreements, sure. That's not related to the unemployment insurance, but
um,
are you just linking me random stuff?
no, this is what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, so do you know what a non-compete agreement is? Or
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that was contained in it, but there was a general.
well, yeah, but like so getting rid of non-compete
I'm specifically referring to Biden when he was responding to the issues in the job market, like why are jobs so scarce right now? And Biden responded by saying that the reason was
because
deliberate.
they
And it
got rid
was
of non-competes?
okay.
I don't know if Biden would ever say that like they're deliberately trying to sabotage the job market. That seems like
He didn't say sabotage, and also this thing about non-competes that you're talking about is only one. It was only one part of the. Sorry, there's a paywall
okay,
now.
hold on. Apparently, I have somebody that watches your stream in my chat. I'm 99% sure that this is the exact tweet that Infrared is thinking of that he showed in his video when he was talking about this a few months ago. Link it to him and see if he thinks so. Here you go. Instead of workers competing with each other for jobs that are scarce, we want employees to compete with each other to attract work. We want the companies to compete to attract workers.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. Let me tell you something. My sole measure of economic success is how working families are doing, whether they have jobs that deliver dignity. This means we have to focus on wages like we used to. When it comes to the economy we're building, rising wages aren't a bug. They're a feature.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just reading on. We want to get something economists call full employment. Instead of workers competing with each other for jobs that are scarce, we want employees compete with each other to attract work. Instead of work, we want employees to compete. Oh, employers. You probably misspoke. We want the companies to compete to attract workers. That kind of competition in the market doesn't just give workers more ability to earn a higher wage. It gives them the power to demand to be treated with dignity and respect in the workplace. Full employment also means opportunities for workers, including Black, Hispanic. Okay, yeah. So what about this?
Specifically, I'm focusing on the sentence: the rising wages aren't a bug; they're a feature.
Well, yeah. I mean, of course, any president is going to want to have rising wages.
But the reason for that is because everyone could see the rising wages were because people had an incentive to be able to stay home instead of they had more
I mean, like,
leverage
I
in
can
being able to
throw.
because of the so-called Biden checks, as they're popularly referred to. People had more leverage in being able to negotiate the kinds of wages that they wanted.
Orc, do you know where we stood on this? I know people went back and forth for a little bit, but my understanding was that the final thing is that like unemployment insurance didn't seem like it had a big disparaging impact on people seeking jobs. I'll trust you, Eric. I don't feel like researching all this again. You can tell me if you remember from this.
To be completely honest, I didn't consult much. I don't remember. I think I did, but I mean, it's mainly just being able to like talk to business owners and know what's going on like on the ground. Is that yeah, like throughout the year, they were having a really hard time trying to find people to hire for work. Like people were just not incentivized to find jobs like before.
Yeah, but for a variety of reasons. Republicans try to blame this on unemployment insurance, but my understanding is that when you looked at the states that were cutting unemployment early and everything, that didn't really pan out. It didn't seem like the data supported that.
So is it specifically the unemployment insurance or is it the stimulus? Because I think it's the
Well, the
stimulus.
stimulus was just a one-time payment, right? Those were one-time checks. I don't know how much that put people off working. The big thing, the big stimulus that the U.S. gave out that was fucking huge was the boost in unemployment insurance. That's my understanding. That was like the huge ticket item.
Weren't there multiple stimulus packages?
I believe there were two big stimulus checks that went out. Was it one under Trump and one under Biden, I think? But the big stimulus, somebody check me wrong, but I think the big stimulus was for unemployment insurance was UI. That was like the huge thing that was helping people. Because it wasn't like a boosted. It was like a $300 a week extra for unemployment insurance. It was huge. That's my understanding for what the big boost was. The checks were just like a one-time thing that went out. Like,
right. So there was a boost in the unemployment insurance. So so you don't think that incentivized people to be able to like have more of a say in what kind of jobs they want to take up or at what price they would want to take up? Like, why is it that wages were rising throughout this period?
There's a lot of weird. Oh man, I have another article on this. So My understanding is that I don't know how up to date this information was, but during the pandemic, in the aggregate, meaning if you count every American worker, Americans actually took home more money and saved more money than they have historically in a massive amount. But the reason why was because middle class workers, or white collar workers, we could say, were not only able to maintain the exact same jobs they had before, many of them were given coronavirus bonuses, and many of them didn't have to actually go to work. They were able to work from home, so they saved money on transport. They weren't spending as much money eating out on food, and they were getting bonuses still from working through the coronavirus pandemic. That these people were like huge winners when it came to the coronavirus pandemic period. And even though there were retail workers or working class people that lost out, in the aggregate, the gains made by Americans that had those middle class jobs massively outperformed it. So I thought that was where like the rising like take home pay and the consumer consumption and everything was coming from.
Right, but there was also a massive number of people quitting jobs, unable to take up jobs. I mean, it's obviously related to the supply chain crisis. I mean, there was a
I mean,
crisis
maybe
of
our unemployment is really low now, though, right? Our unemployment is below 5%. Like, I think we're fine in terms of employment. I mean, labor force participation has fallen, but I mean, I think that's always going to
So
happen
is
as the
this like
boomers continue to age
a
out.
this month thing, like as of this month, or?
No, unemployment's just been falling. Everybody freaks out about unemployment, but our unemployment's always been like pretty good
But
generally.
weren't they having trouble finding like truckers to be able
Yeah, they're
to?
having trouble finding workers, but that's like a different like that's like people arguing that we need more immigrants basically to come into work because we're not like we don't have enough workers.
But they
But
were paying really well. They were like increasing the it's obviously how the markets work, right? If there's a high demand for workers, you increase the wages, and even then, it wasn't sufficient.
yeah, I mean they're trying to increase wages, but I mean at some point you're only going to have like most industries in the United States run on like pretty thin profit margins. You don't have like you can't just like boost wages a fuck ton. Like a lot of these businesses could become non-competitive. So I mean, we might be seeing, if you want to call this a great reset, we might be seeing some form of like reorganization in terms of like which businesses are viable post coronavirus because of the labor force participation. Right? That's
I
possible.
don't necessarily think it's just about which businesses are viable. I think there's been a fundamental change in how people relate to work in the first place. Like, there was a lot of talk of UBI in the past, and it seemed like an impossible dream, but it seems like uh, that is almost inevitable at this point. It
Well, because
also,
we actually got a little bit of UBI under Biden because of how the child tax credit works. Yeah.
yeah, but I think the basic point is that
But
what
that's
I
another example of a policy that a third party might have adopted that was co-opted by a first policy.
the
So they're going
child
full
tax
circle
credit
for a
is
first one.
not UBI.
Kind of.
UBI is universal basic income, right? And a basic income means if you're a citizen of this country, you get a basic income as a default.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not universal, but the idea that you get a payment every single month from the government for something as simple as just having a dependent, that's a pretty. I don't think that's. I think that's unprecedented in American history. Like that is a huge first step towards some form of UBI. When you're getting people getting checks every single month from the government for some minimum dollar amount, it's not universal because obviously not everybody has a dependent, but I mean it's a good step in that
So,
direction.
would you anticipate that 1 year from now, specifically, the Biden's approval rating is going to go up
I
by a
can't. I
lot?
can't. The thing is here's two potential paths. Then maybe the supply chain crisis doesn't actually alleviate because people are continuing to purchase more and more goods and they can't keep up, and then inflation continues to grow, and then the entire working class gets fucked because now things like gas or things that are in the CPI are just unaffordable. In that case, Biden is completely crushed. But let's say in the next like 6 months, the supply chain continues to improve, people can afford goods and services, we got a fuck ton of stimulus, unemployment is really low, the economy is still like pretty hot. Then it's possible that like yeah, the opinion shifts in favor of Biden. Like oh, this is cool. It's just, but it's hard to say. I can't make those predictions. This is like a macro international econ, big brain thing. Like people are still arguing over like what the fuck is even causing the supply chain crisis. So I'm not going to pretend to know that I know the answer to when it's going to be over.
Okay, so but you still fundamentally believe that if we are facing a crisis right now, then within the next 2 or 3 or I don't know how many years, it's going to be solvable by like the current two-party system, by the current establishment.
Any crisis that we're facing now, if it's not solvable by the two-party system, I don't think a third party could solve it. I mean,
Right. So, do you think that there's no such thing as political novelty in history? Like, there's never such a thing as where the the kind of striving of the era is unable to be given expression by the established parties, and that something new is necessary to be able to
yeah,
do
I
that.
mean, Novelty definitely happens, but as systems become larger and systems becomes better at like organizing and incorporating new information and processing information and then like turning that into things, I think that novelty becomes like exponentially harder. If we compare it to like coming up with new strats in a video game 20 years ago was pretty easy because like the internet wasn't as popular and not as many people played the game and they were all new and buggy or whatever is one thing. But nowadays, like day one, any game releases, day zero, there's massive wikis up. You know, the chance of you inventing a new strategy are almost nothing. I think the same works when it comes to political
That's
parties or
actually
global
not
economies.
true. I mean, there's authors I actually recommend him. Nassim Nicholas Taleb, his book The Black Swan, and he proves how the more complex systems become, the bigger they become, so to speak. Like the banks that were too big to fail, the harder they fall. The more intensified the points of their blind spots are, where they actually like. It never becomes so complex that novelty becomes impossible. There is always a blind spot.
I'm not saying
Um,
impossible, and but I'm saying the larger these systems become, the more comprehensive they are. It seems like they're good at incorporating new stuff. But I mean, hey, we'll see. But I
but
don't see any right now. There's no reason to think why what you're saying will happen, other than like, well, it could.
are
Like
you
when you,
familiar with Black Swan? It's actually not like a fringe book. It's like
I know the guy that at least at the very least on Twitter, he's pretty crazy. I'm sure his book is fine. You're talking about the mathematician guy, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I mean, I guess we'll see.
So basically, the issue is that systems, especially of the nature of the ones that we're talking about, aren't able to become what he calls anti-fragile. They're not actually able to learn from these kinds of mistakes and integrate them in a local way. They have to like always make it so that when there's one vulnerability, right, one major vulnerability, the whole thing tumbles and collapses.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like it can happen with our current system. It seems
You
like
don't think
our
so?
current system, it doesn't seem so.
Okay.
It seems like our current system is unimaginably resilient. It's one of the biggest, I guess, benefits of capitalism is that it seems pretty resilient, and our political system seems pretty resilient as well.
So wait. By our current system, what are you referring to?
We could talk about like our global infrastructure in terms of like how our governments relate to one another, or we could talk about like our national infrastructure, how our economy functions, or how our government or monetary policy works. I mean, anything like just our system in general. I mean, we could talk about more specific parts if you want to dig into it, but
So
I
you,
mean,
you
there's a
think that's like unbelievably resilient, and there's no
yes.
possibility that it could ever
I
collapse.
didn't say no possibility.
Well,
I mean,
there's
there
no
could be something, but
there's no likely possibility.
it doesn't seem to be the case. Yeah, correct.
Why is that? Why do you think that?
I don't know. We keep going through these things that are like unprecedented historical things, and
For
it seems like
example,
the 2007, the mortgage-backed security
I thought
crisis.
you were going to mention that, and I'm glad. Do you know that we actually haven't really recovered from that crisis, and that quantitative easing has been the sole source of economic growth since then? Meaning, there's no organic,
Yeah, that's
profit-based,
just
traditional capitalist economic
that's
growth
just
since then.
completely not true. I don't know what else
Really?
to say. Yeah.
So what? So you're not aware of the fact that it is actually government issued credit and stimulus into the economy that has been the source of all of the economic growth we've seen in the United States and Europe since the
Well, let's
2007
just
crisis.
sure. I mean, let's think about that. Let's pull
Yeah,
away from the MMT idea and let's just think like reasonably.
yeah.
Do you really truly believe that over the past 15 years we haven't had a surge of new businesses, new products and services, better technologies, more construction? You really don't think any of that has happened? It's all more or less the same. You really don't think any real growth has happened there?
Well, first of all, there has been economic growth and new businesses and stuff, but that begins and that's a result of the bank issued credit. It's not because of it's not because of a bottom up form of economic growth as in traditional capitalism, which is based on profit. And many of these large businesses, these corporations and so on, operate at a loss in terms of profitability for a long time,
Yeah, but
right?
what does it mean to operate at a loss, though? What
It
do you think
means
that
they're
means?
either not making a profit or they're even losing money.
Yeah, but well, they're not losing money. They're just not making a profit.
Really?
They're just not,
Because there wasn't Uber operating at a loss for a long time?
it's the word loss there is doing a lot of work. To say loss, to a layman, almost sounds like the money is disappearing, right?
Are you
But
aware of the actual growth of the real economy in the past 15 years compared to the growth on the stock market?
okay, you keep jumping around. Okay, so just to be clear, right?
Well, that's what you were referring to.
A loss on a business sheet could oftentimes refer to a big investment that's made in a business. So, for instance, Amazon had losses as opposed to profits for a long time, but it's not like they were just burning through piles of cash, right? These were capital investments they were making in their business. You know, if you continue to function at a loss, but your revenues are growing and growing and growing, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing, and it's not like there's no real growth there. That just doesn't make any sense.
What I'm trying to say is that profitability is not the source of the growth. I'm not saying that there's no growth at all. I'm just saying profitability is not the source.
I don't know what profitability. I don't know what profitability. I don't
Yeah,
know that.
so in capitalism, the engine of economic growth is ultimately based on earning more money than you did before and using that money to invest in your capital in order to expand. And that's how the cycle repeats,
Sure, but you don't need
expands.
profit to
And
do that necessarily, right?
profitability is determined, or the ability to pursue profits determined by competition in the market, right? Other people are doing things that you have to adapt to, and you have to squeeze out more money from the economy than the other person by lowering prices or increasing the efficiency of capital and so on and so on. So that's actually not what the source of economic growth has been since 2008.
What do you mean when you say economic growth? What does that term mean to you? Or what do you?
It means the ability for the distribution of goods and services to be.
So you don't think there's been a real growth in the overall amount of goods and services produced in the country or
There
demanded in the
has,
country?
but not because of profit.
I don't know what because of profit means. That's like
It
nobody
means the
thinks that way.
government
Like, what does that mean?
injected. It means the government injected credit in the economy, and that this credit was distributed among America's corporations by the banks, and that it's the recycling of this money that has been the source of keeping the economy in operation.
Okay. Um, I mean, like that's a cool idea. I really don't know
So
what to say.
you're saying this system is incredibly resilient.
Yeah.
Do you think that the current inflation that we're experiencing, as far as the dollar is concerned, is just like a temporary thing, that the currency as we know it is going to continue to operate as we know it?
I don't know what. I don't even know if the dollar is experiencing inflation at the moment. I don't know if that's true or not.
Okay, so there's no currency crisis right now.
Is there? Is there one?
You tell me. I mean, you don't think that there's a push toward moving toward digital currency and
No,
blockchain currencies
absolutely
by
not.
central
No, there is
banks?
no push towards digital currency. No.
Okay, and is there a time span that you want to like hedge your bets on that for? Is like a year or two or three?
For
We're
a
not
year,
going
it's
to see
free
a
money.
shift.
Yeah. What do you mean? Do you want to bet on whether or not we change to a digital currency in a year or two or three? I'll bet you on
Yeah,
any
if
of
there's a
those.
shift to digital currencies within the time span of 3 years.
Yeah. What do you want to bet? What odds do you want?
Well, I just want to know like if that's what you believe.
Yeah, I know that. I would take big
So
odds on that, of
if there's
course.
no currency crisis, are you aware of what the inflation rate is right now?
In the U.S., it's 6.2%. I think
When's the last time it was this high?
this might be historically high.
Yeah, do you know when the last time it was?
I I don't know.
It was 1990.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So do you know? So you're saying you're speaking of the resilience of the system.
Hmm.
Are you aware of what sustains the value of the dollar?
The full faith and credit of the U.S. government to pay back Treasury bonds. I mean, what do you mean?
Okay, but in real life, what is it?
Probably the strength of the U.S. economy.
No, it's not. It's neither of those things.
Is it the military projection of the United States trade routes around the
It's
world to
actually the
ensure?
denomination of petroleum in U.S. dollars
Gotcha. Okay, the U.S.
since the
petrodollar. Okay,
1970s, because we switched from the gold standard to that, right?
gotcha.
Um, if you know the history of monetary policy in the U.S. So, are you aware of what's going on as far
Hold on. Wait.
as?
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, this is boring to me now. Do you want to talk about anything else?
Well, I'm just trying to walk you through, and
Well, no. You're doing the like. Are you aware of? And then you're feeding me like every single fucking conspiracy theory I've ever heard in
it's
my
so
time.
the
But there's like
petro. Wait, wait.
I can't engage with any. There's
So
nothing
wait,
to
wait.
engage here. Like,
So the pet. Hold on.
if you want to make a prediction based on your conspiracy theories, I'll bet you. If
Wait,
you
wait,
want.
wait. Is the
But I mean, like, I'm not gonna
petrodollar
sit here and
is
argue that like, oh, QE is the reason
Well,
why the entire economy has grown for 15 years. Like
it,
that's
it
absurd. But
fundamentally
like,
is
yeah.
the reason. So do
Okay,
you
yeah.
think?
So if there's a bet that you want to place on a future outcome, I'll bet you on digital
Wait,
currencies.
wait,
Like
wait.
that.
I just
Sure.
want to know
Yeah.
if you think the petrodollar is a conspiracy or not.
In terms of like, is this the only thing keeping the United States afloat in our global economy or whatever?
The dollar is that's where the value of the dollar comes from.
Would the implication be that like if we switch to green energy or some shit that like the petrodollar is going to cause the U.S. currency to collapse or
Something like that. Yeah.
yeah? No, I don't think so. But I mean, if you want to put money on it or whatever, we can. But
Yeah.
your time frames here are
So
going to be really
I
big. You're
just
going to have
don't
to go
think you're
5+
aware of
years
the
at least.
history of U.S.
Yeah,
monetary policy, which was very much planned and deliberate in the post-war
of
period. And
course, it's all planned and deliberate.
well,
Did the
it's not
CIA
a.
do
It's
it?
hold
Or?
on. It's not a conspiracy. The planners of the
Mm-hmm.
post-war global economy
Mm-hmm.
deliberately set up the world economy and specifically the United States to be a
Mm-hmm.
recycler. Or specifically, they first initially
Mm-hmm.
wanted the surpluses of the United States production to be invested in other countries, and then they reversed their
Mm-hmm.
policy so that the U.S. would become a vacuum of global surpluses through Wall Street, and that this would keep the dollar's value afloat, and that this
Mm-hmm.
would keep the world economic order.
Yeah, I remember. It was called like the Philosopher's Legacy, right? The Patriots didn't they set
No,
up
you
this
can
huge
actually
global
read
fund?
about it in the book "The Global Minotaur" by Yanis Varoufakis, the economist. But
Gotcha. Okay.
the
All
point
right. Well, listen,
being,
listen. Hold on,
yeah.
wait. I super don't care. If you want to make a bet or something about related to any of these things that you believe in, that's fine. But I don't feel like just listening.
All right,
Like,
but you're saying things like how you believe in the resilience of the system, but you don't even
hmm,
know what this system is.
okay, then bet me on an outcome that I wouldn't understand. If you think there's an
Okay,
outcome you don't understand,
within
then yeah.
5 years,
Hmm.
we are going to see a fundamental change of this collapse of this system and change of the system.
What does that mean? What is a fundamental change?
We are going to see a complete change in the nature of the currency in the U.S. from the current fiat money, purely credit based, and the
Hmm.
petrodollar to maybe some kind of digital blockchain currency.
Okay, I'll bet you like $100 on that, or 1,000 if you want, or however much you want to posture, I guess.
No, it's not so much. I don't, how about this? I will
Hmm.
give you, if you're right, a
Hmm.
thousand. But if
Hmm.
I'm right, all I want you to do is admit to everyone that you don't know anything about how economies work or the nature of the current global economy. That's enough for
Sure.
me, for you to just be able to admit that.
Yeah, sure. Okay. 5 years from now, if you're still streaming, I'll come for my $100, okay, or whatever.
Yeah. So, so just
No, actually, hold on. I don't want
yeah.
$100. I want you to admit then that okay, my shit was all well. I already know what's gonna happen. Is if even if you are still streaming in 5 years, I'm gonna come back and be like, oh well, what you don't understand is there was a global shift. You just don't know about it, and it's like in some secret place that like the public doesn't know, but like it actually happened. Like that's how you're gonna
No,
say, right?
it's going to be pretty like obvious to everyone.
Okay. Yeah. We'll see you in 5 years, I guess.
Yeah. So is it on this basis that you say I don't know anything about current events initially?
No, it's just like when I debate conservatives, they've got like all these on the ground issues that they want to argue about. We're debating government policy, we're debating current events, like this is what's going on. If I'm debating like Lauren Southern or Rob Noir, but when I talk to people like you, it's like literally like fucking Jewish conspiracy theory shit now. Like it feels like I'm talking to the
What?
Nazis of like 5 years ago. Like
What?
it's just all like off the wall, like
Hold
check
on.
out this fucking book by blah blah blah, and check
Yeah.
out this like the petrodollar is real. It's like okay, like there's nothing for me to even talk about
Okay,
here.
so
It's just
so
boring.
first of
Yeah.
all, it's interesting that you're comparing the uncontroversial recognition of the petrodollar significance to
Hmm.
anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. But second of all, I think what you're really trying to say is that I don't actually thrive on discourse based in media sound bites that actually
Hmm.
don't necessarily reflect a
Hmm.
adequate understanding of our reality
Hmm.
concretely. It's just media sound bites.
Yeah.
How are you so confident that the things that the media provokes interest in terms of headlines and
Mhm.
clickbait titles and whatever, like how do you know that actually reflects what's really going on the ground?
You know what? I don't. So I guess we'll
You,
see in
you
five
really
years
don't.
if
How
we
much
switch
time?
to
Hold
like
on. Let me ask you
digital
a
U.S.
question.
currency.
I
Yeah,
want to
what's
ask you
up?
another question. How much time did you spend debating about Kyle Rittenhouse?
Quite a bit.
So, in terms of what's actually happening in reality, like the
Hmm.
changes under in our system, in our political system, and in our real economy, how important do you think the Kyle Rittenhouse trial was relative to that?
I mean, elections are won and lost sometimes on culture war issues. The next big one might be over abortion.
Right, but these are all things that you're only aware of because the media is telling you that they're important.
Yeah, but the media is also a reflection of what the people want to see as well. Do you think the media would be showing
So,
us this if people
so
weren't clamoring to see it?
well, people are also interested in Kim Kardashian. It doesn't mean it's an accurate reflection of the reality they live in.
Okay, sure, but what? Okay. All right. Well, hey, listen. I look forward in 5 years to being wrong. We'll have our digital
No,
U.S. currency
I'm
credit card.
just
Okay.
so. But you said that I don't live in this world and that I don't know anything about the current reality
I'm
because
just saying that, like, at the end of this
yeah,
conversation, like, I'm taking nothing from this. There's not anything for you to read into. There's no future research. You
well,
haven't moved
I
me
know
on any
because
position. Like, it's all just like it's just a
as a
nothing
streamer, you
conversation.
basically thrive off of
Mhm.
what's like media clickbait titles and viral
Yeah, that's all.
stories
Everything
on
that
the internet.
isn't part of your conspiracy world is clickbait. That's right.
But
Everything.
how is
Nobody
it?
actually
Hold
cares about
on,
any of these. None of these issues actually matter. Only what you
wait,
care about is what matters,
wait.
right?
So
This is
how?
why every
Yeah,
leftist fails to gain any real political support anywhere too. And
yeah,
I think it resembles in like the failure of like any hypothetical third party. Like, oh guys, like you don't who the fuck cares about dumb shit like minimum wage or
yeah.
like social issues? Like what's
Right,
really
like
important is the petrodollar and how QE is the whole reason why everything is like nobody cares
yeah,
about this shit.
and it's like
Hmm.
there's no third party because CNN isn't talking about it. So how could it possibly
Okay.
be a thing that should
Well,
be
let me know
talked
once
about?
you've overthrown CNN, okay?
Well, why should we talk about things that CNN isn't talking about? You're right, dude.
Okay.
And like, unless you see it as the Twitter trending thing,
Mm-hmm.
the news trending on Twitter, like it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
exist, right?
Right.
So I actually want to clarify something though, because you
Yeah.
said that, oh, this is all right leftists. I don't actually think there's no significance to the
Mm-hmm.
things that are popular and viral news stories. I think that has to do with the broader culture and ideological war that's going on. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying that's not exactly the same. That's not identical with an actual systemic and structural analysis of how our economy works and its history, how these
Mm-hmm.
structures are held together. I just am insisting on the fact that there's a difference between what the media says in terms of like what it gives importance to in all these headlines and what's actually going on in reality. I'm not saying those things have no importance and no significance. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
insisting on that division. And why is that an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory though?
I never said it was an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory.
Well, why are you putting me in the same category as anti-Semitic conspiracy theorists when I talk about
Because it's
something?
all like unverifiable, unquantifiable bullshit that relies
Do
on me
you
buying
think the
into like evidence.
petrodollar is unverifiable and
If you want to
unquantifiable?
send me some fucking research later on some shit you're talking about, then feel free to knock it out. But if you're
I,
just
I
gonna say like, go
actually
read
want
this
you.
fucking book, then I don't. I'm good on it.
Can you please
Hmm.
have a conversation with a guy called Kantbot? He actually does want to talk to you, and I want
I'll
to
think
see if
about it.
you
Okay.
can hold your own in a conversation
Hmm.
about the history of U.S. Economic policy and the petrodollar
Okay.
and so on and so on.
Sounds fascinating. Okay.
Would you be willing to talk to him?
Probably not, but maybe we'll see how bored I am.
Right, but are you sure? Like it kind of seems like you're kind of scared. Or
Oh my god, you fuck shit! You called me out so hard. You got me. It was actually just because I'm really afraid of the guy. Well, now that you impugned my honor, yeah, man, send me his contact details. And I'll definitely get back to him. Okay. I wouldn't want to be seen as like scared of an internet debate, right?
well, I mean, I don't know. It's just like there are people who spend their lives researching this
Hmm.
and documenting this, and
Yeah, there are people who spent their lives researching phrenology. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to make of that, but okay.
well, I'm just saying, like, if you want way more details about this kind of stuff, I
I
would
don't.
recommend you to. I could give you them myself, but
I
maybe you
don't.
need
I don't
someone
want
else.
more details about it. I don't care. If you want to give me people that are making accurate
Yeah,
predictions about
but
the
hold
world,
on,
then
but
I'm interested
wait,
in
wait,
that.
wait,
But
wait.
like,
Hold on,
uh
but what I'm trying to say is, you said it's unverifiable, and I'm giving you a guy who could give you like citations, footnotes, sources, like
I
the
don't want
whole thing.
citations. I want predictions. Give me an accurate prediction based on your model. That's how we judge the worthiness of any
What
model,
have you
right?
what
Give me a
have you
prediction.
correctly predicted then in the past
I'm
five
not an
years?
economist. I just read other people's shit. I'm not here to predict
What
anything.
what have
Well,
they
but I mean, like, if
correct?
you're gonna say like, what have I predicted?
Okay,
I mean, I
okay,
don't know. I
sure,
think
sure, sure.
most of the mainstream things that have happened, I feel like I've been like pretty
So
decently on the
how
right side
much
of.
of those economists predicted 2008?
I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at it all. I'm
None
not
of
sure.
them. So
Okay.
how much of those economists that you endow authority to have correctly predicted? Um,
Okay. You know what?
yeah.
You're right. I totally believe in whatever the Kant guy is, the Kant bot guy. Okay.
Wait, but
Oh, I predicted the infrastructure bill passing. We had our debate, remember? And you said it would, and
no,
I
there
said it wouldn't.
wasn't there
That's one
wasn't a
thing.
controversy about whether that bill would pass. There was a
Uh huh.
controversy about how much of it would pass, and it was a slimmed
Oh,
down
okay.
bill from 1.5 to what 1.3 or 1.2.
Uh huh.
So
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
it wasn't the 1.5 trillion dollar infrastructure bill that you said it would be. But
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
anyway, the corporate
Hmm.
welfare infrastructure bill. I don't know why you're lauding that as some kind of achievement.
Okay.
But
I mean, it was the
anyway,
largest infrastructure bill in U.S. history, but I mean, not good enough for you, I guess, huh? I'm sure a third party would have
hold
done way
on.
better, but
Again, given the state of infrastructure in the United States, holding that infrastructure bill is some kind of accomplishment, given the absolute neglect of U.S. Like that's a given. Governments giving their infrastructure support is not like some breakthrough of politics.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. And by
Okay.
the way, there was no debate about whether it was going to be passed.
hmm
But I'm sure this spending is going to curb the inflation that you said they're going to get it under control.
Do
So,
you think the inflation can remain like this for another year or forever?
I think
What
it's
do you?
going to get worse.
Okay.
I actually think it's going to get worse. Would you want to? What do you think about that?
Worse before it gets better. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it'll get better, but I don't know. It might get a little bit worse first. I'm not sure.
When? Okay, since we're talking about predictions, when do you think it's going to get better? When is it going to start getting better?
I mean, in some cases, it has already. Overall, I mean, I would expect it to within a year. I would think, but I mean, like there are things that could change that. Say some more stimulus goes out or something, which I don't think would happen, or some big spending is spurred on by the stimulus bill, which causes another drive up of demand of certain goods. I'm not gonna say and pretend like I'm gonna accurately predict, but I would feel like
Hold
within
on,
like a year or two, it
hold
probably
on.
gonna
You
come down.
have pegged the entire like ability to be an authoritative thinker,
Hold on.
or
To be clear,
you have
I'm not an authoritative thinker. I
hold
just
on, but
read like what economists say. Yeah.
you've decided that all the entire value of what someone says should be judged on the basis of how accurate their predictions can be. You're not even willing to commit to any predictions at all.
Well, because I haven't researched enough on this particular question to give you what I feel is a confident
But
prediction. 'Cause
you seem confident in saying things like, even though you haven't researched important details of it, that our system is so fundamentally resilient that
because
it
I
is
think historically our
extremely.
system has been incredibly resilient. Yes.
Are you what are you basing that off of?
The fact that we've had two major political parties for over 100 years, the fact that we maintain like a
So
capitalist system, the
historically,
fact
do you
that
think?
the monetary policy has kept inflation and the job market's relatively stable for like 80 or 100 years. Like, I don't know. I mean, what do you want me to say?
Wait, hold on.
What?
You're saying that when, even if we were to assume that the two-party system, and this is wrong that it's not, it's been the same form of that two-party system in the past 100 years. But do you actually think, in terms of scale, if there's a precedent of 100 years, that means like it's completely unlikely that it can happen? A huge change can happen in five. Like 100 years in the history of polities and states is absolutely nothing. Okay,
I
so
disagree. I think that time is accelerated quite a bit today compared to what it was 1,000 years ago. Like whole like trends can rise and fall in the course of like a couple years. I think that our scale of time today is greatly accelerated compared to what it used to be, just because of like
as
how
much as the
globalized
scale of
everything.
time accelerates, it also slows down in other ways. So
Okay,
yeah, I mean,
gotcha.
it may so for example, the flux of information has accelerated, and the ability for people to consume information and consume culture and things like that has accelerated. But in
Mhm.
terms of the scale at which like the mode of production transformed, maybe that's a word you don't like, it really hasn't accelerated all that much. But the
Okay.
question I have to ask you is, you think our two-party system has stayed the same for 100 years?
I mean, we've had these two political parties for 100 years. I mean, their shifts and ideas have changed over time.
We've
Sure.
also had the U.S. Constitution since the founding of the republic. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean that the Constitution is this resilient document. Okay,
I think the
because
Constitution is incredibly resilient. I think we have the
but
oldest active Constitution in the world.
but what the Constitution represents has not been the same in any given 2 decades, right?
I
So
don't know what you mean. We've
if
changed the
you have a
Constitution.
very vague document, for example, I'm not, this is an extreme example, I'm not saying this is specifically the Constitution, but let's say you write on a piece of paper, I believe that all people should be happy, and you say, well, I've had this piece of paper for 500 years. Well, it's because it's vague, it doesn't actually address the
You
specific
think our Constitution is
particular.
vague?
Of course it's very vague. Wait, you don't
Okay.
think our Constitution's vague? It's very
I mean,
vague,
vague
dude.
compared to what? I mean, what? I mean,
Vague compared to the civil codes of the Napoleonic Code that other countries adopted.
Yeah,
instead of
probably because
common law.
it's a government of enumerated powers, right? So all that shit is left to the states. That's like how our government is set up,
Wait,
right?
I just am really aghast that you would question the idea that the Constitution is vague. Of
I
course it's
just don't
vague.
know how that's a point against the Constitution, or what you mean by vagueness.
I'm
Like it's
saying
appropriately
you
vague, right? If
can't
it's
when we are talking about the resilience of institutions, you have to refer to the institution in its material reality, not vague documents that encompass various different material realities, histories, and institutions. So, for example, I'll make this simple for you. The Republican Party and the Democratic Party have existed for over 100 years, well over 100 years, but who the Democratic, like what, for example, the Democratic Party was made of, the institution that is the Democratic Party, what it represented, who it represented, how the political machine worked and how it operated, how it got votes, all of these things have just fundamentally changed, even as far as a few decades ago is concerned. So the idea that like, oh, well, we've still had the Democratic and Republican Party, yeah, but what those parties are at their most fundamental level have changed so much that they've only kept the name.
okay. That is an example of resiliency, but I don't know what else I'm going to say.
So keeping the name is resiliency, but nothing else.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Why? Why?
Because it hasn't required a complete collapse and reorganization of the system to make something.
Wait, but
that's
there
not-
has been a collapse and reorganization of those parties across the past 100 years several times, right? It's just
Okay.
that they've kept the name.
Gotcha. All right.
So
love
I don't
you
know
guys.
what you're
Thank you.
talking. I don't actually know what you're talking
I
about.
don't. None of us know anything. Okay, or except for you and Talib or whatever that guy, the mathematician dude. Okay, I love you, buddy. All right.
Okay, so I'm still not persuaded, and I don't think my audience is
I
persuaded.
don't think anything I can say will ever
as
persuade
as
you. but
as
that's
far
okay.
as the original claim, the clip I was sent of you saying that I don't know
Mhm.
anything about current events or I don't know anything
Mhm.
about the world. I think we've
Mhm.
been over enough to say that you really don't know all that much about the world, right?
I think that's true. Yes, I agree.
So
I can say that. Yes.
make sure you steer clear of those anti-Semitic petrodollar conspiracies because
Mhm.
those are going viral and it's really dangerous on the internet. And
Mhm.
I want you to make sure you stay on CNN, keep
Gotcha.
at it with the New York Times, the Atlantic, and so on,
Mhm.
and just make sure you filter your information correctly and you don't get trapped in these anti-Semitic webs of disinformation. Like, for example, the existence of the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency after World War II, because that's a really big anti-Semitic conspiracy theory.
Mhm.
That
Gotcha.
yeah.
Well, make sure you save $100 so that in 5 years I can collect. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'll be waiting those 5 years, by the way.
Okay. I'll see you then.
Okay, fine. All right, I left.
Okay. I'll.
Thank you, Jan R. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Jan R. How many times have I beat Destiny in a debate, dude? It's like nothing. How many times have I fucking defeated him in a debate? It's like it's almost embarrassing, you know? Like, how is it so easy? Thank you, Reaper. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Reaper. So, Destiny's entire shtick here, Destiny's entire shtick is basically, right? What he's basically saying is if you don't only focus on what the news headlines are saying, that means you're not living in this reality. Thank you, Good Office. If you're not specifically focusing on what all the dumbasses on Twitter are getting whipped up in a fervor about, that means you don't know anything about this world. Dude, the real truth of this world is what's not talked about by the fucking media and by Twitter and shit. Like everybody knows that, you know? Yeah. It's so fucking stupid, dude. So fucking dumb. Yeah, and anything outside CNN is bro, okay, you know what? You know when Destiny completely lost the ball? When he said that the petrodollar is an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. That was the highlight of the night, dude. That was the highlight of the night. Oh, what up, Zerka? Yo, hello?
Yo, bro.
Yeah.
I just woke up. I just saw the last bit of that. Did he just say the Democratic Party hasn't changed for 100 years?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I swear, I've seen him argue. I've seen him argue that it has.
Yeah, I mean, bro, no, you should watch the whole thing because he said a lot of crazy shit, dude. He said the petrodollar is an anti-Semitic theory.
What the fuck? How did this happen?
He also said the system is unimaginably resilient and that the current two-party system is going to survive.
But
He said that the current political system lasted 100 years. He said
whoa,
a
whoa,
lot of
whoa,
crazy
whoa,
shit.
whoa! It's
Yeah.
it's so resilient that Trump supporters are making their own fucking state, and they raided the Capitol.
Bro, look, get this, get this. This is my favorite part. This dude said that the reason why the job market was tight and people weren't going to work wasn't because of Biden's checks. Bro,
Wait, how did this come about though? How did you guys get on a call?
because somebody sent me a clip of I was talking about other shit. Somebody sent me a clip saying Destiny's talking shit about you, and I saw the clip and Destiny was like, yeah, the thing about Infrared is that he doesn't know anything about the real world or some shit like that. So I was like, what the fuck? And then I reacted to it, and then he reacted to me, and then he was like, okay, tell Infrared to come in the call. And then I was like, okay, I'll come in the call. So I went into his call, and then I was like, so why are you saying that? And then we basically went through it, and I had to explain to him that like the world is actually changing and there's a great reset. I had talked about the great reset and shit, and he's like, oh no, there's no great reset. Biden's gonna get the inflation under control. And I was like, Biden, I was like, Destiny, who do you think's gonna win in 2022? You think there's gonna be a red wave? And he's like, no, I think Biden's gonna get the inflation under control and the supply chain crisis.
Wow.
Thank you,
Status
Twitter.
quo. He's like a status quo junkie. But what's weird is how can he say there's no great reset? There's like prime ministers, not just Trudeau. Everyone says it's a
But I
great.
tried
Like,
to tell him, and I was like, dude,
how
Biden,
is
even
he's going with the it's a conspiracy theory shit.
yeah. I was like, dude, even Biden and all those people in power believe that there has to be a great reset. Even they see that you can't go back to normal. And he was like, no, we're just going to go back to normal and things are going to be as they always have. And I was like, what?
He's so naive.
Yeah, it's crazy cope. And he's like, we'll make a prediction. And he's like, okay, how long do you need? And he's like, oh, 2 or 3 years or something. And it's like, so in 2 or 3 years, I said, all you have to do is admit to your audience that you don't know anything about the real world. If I'm right.
Well, no, he's just gonna play the card of the severity isn't what you predicted. So if it's not as extreme as Haz's ideas, then Haz was wrong. He's just gonna do that.
Bro, I
He'll be
cannot.
like
I,
he'll
I,
be like the world's not on fire, bro. So you're wrong. That's what he's gonna do to you.
Dude, I still cannot believe that this dude said the petrodollar is an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. I
don't even get that. Like, what do you mean?
was like, dude, the
I don't, yeah,
petrodollar.
I don't wait. Can you explain what he means by that?
He said like he was like, well, you talk about like conspiracy theories like the petrodollar, and I was like, and he's like, and then he was like, it's just like those Nazis talking about anti-Semitic shit. I'm like, dude, the petrodollar is not a conspiracy theory. The U.S. made a deal with Saudi Arabia, that they have to denominate their oil in dollars. So
Yeah.
how is that a conspiracy?
Yeah, I'll bet you anything. If you tied him up to a lie detector test, he doesn't even believe that it's anti-Semitic. He doesn't even believe that. It's just a fucking.
Well, he
it's
was
just
trying
a
to
thing
say he was trying to say it's in the same league as that.
Oh my god, bro!
And I'm like, bruh, I'm telling you shit that like, yeah, the establishment academics are saying. I'm telling you shit that they're saying. You know, I'm not telling you some like.
To me, that's hilarious, the petrodollar one. But I only caught the last bit of it, and I was so shook that I'm like, First of all, the Constitution is vague.
That's
Right?
what I said too. I was like, it's vague
It's
as
meant to
fuck.
be. Yeah, but the whole the parties are resilient in name. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I said. So just because they kept the name, that means they're
dude.
resilient.
People even argue that the party switched and blah blah blah.
They did,
Right?
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
They changed
No,
fucking.
but no. I'm saying these libs in
Yeah,
Destiny's corner. They argue. Destiny has argued that the party switched. What the fuck
bro.
is he talking about?
The vote, everything, shit has changed since Obama. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid, dude. But yeah, all of this shit was about the third party shit. Like he's like, oh, the third party argument's really dumb, and I was like, yeah, bro, that's.
Yeah. I mean,
He's
the
like, well,
third
the
party.
third party hasn't existed, and it's like, well, who cares if it hasn't existed? The time
Yeah,
is ripe for
the
one
point.
now.
The point is, it's in the shadows.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And the third party will either come as hyper nationalistic or communist.
Yeah. I mean, bro, I don't even know what to fucking say, man. It's this dude.
Well,
I don't even know why he was talking shit because I was
clearly,
focusing.
bro, clearly you're an anti-Semite because you're not for U.S. foreign policy bombing little children in the Middle East.
Yeah, bro. Dude, I wasn't even talking about him at all. That's the crazy thing. I started the stream and I was like, I was going on a rant about something entirely different. It had nothing to do with any of that.
Yeah. Well, watch out with libs, bro. They're pro fucking staying in Taliban.
They're pro what?
They're pro staying in Taliban, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Afghanistan. Yeah.
They're very strange people in that corner of the web, man. They're like, bro, why the fuck did we leave Taliban? Why the fuck did we leave Afghanistan? It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that's just, bro, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like I'm the crazy one because like this dude's got what 2.5K viewers, and I sound like I'm crazy right now just saying basic shit, and I'm just asking him questions like, oh, so do you believe that the current monetary system is going to be in place and the U.S. dollar is going to survive even though the price of oil is changing all this shit? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm just like shocked. I'm like,
For
can
me,
you really
for
get
me,
away with saying this to 2,000 people?
for me, what shocks me more is not only it's an economic collapse, but it's look how much debt students are in. You think something's not gonna happen with this country,
No,
right?
apparently, I just ask him questions. And he just
And
gives
yo,
it
you
away
know what's
for me.
funny?
You know,
How is the Great Reset a conspiracy theory when the words Great Reset came from politicians? It didn't come from the web.
I don't know, dude. I have no fucking idea.
Like they keep saying the word Great Reset. You know, conspiracy means like we assumed, but this one came straight from like the top. So, does he think the fourth industrial revolution is a fucking conspiracy? bro, there'll be, look at what Klaus says, bro. There'll be car sharing, right? You know what car sharing is?
Yeah.
It means little Steve will be in a minivan with other little
Dude, I
kids.
tried to tell him about like smart cities and how work is gonna change and how everything's gonna change, and he's like, no, everything's gonna be the same.
You know, I want his copium to be real.
Yeah. No, I'm just shocked. I'm like, how can anyone believe this?
Yeah, here's what I don't get is like sometimes a lib can just say you can drop facts on them. You'll be like, no, look at this book. It's called I have this book I ordered recently. It's called The Fourth Industrial Revolution. You can send him that book and he'll say, nah, bro, that's a conspiracy.
Dude,
And
I
it's very
tried
weird that
to
they can
recommend him a few books, and he said they're all conspiracies, and they're not. I tried to explain to him how the U.S. economy works, and how it's like all after World War II, it's about being the reserve currency and the.
Oh
like,
no! The only book.
Oh, dude, no.
Steven
One thing I told him.
The only book Stephen reads is the official 9/11 Commission report.
Dude, one of the things I told him was I told him about how since 2008, All economic growth has been based on bank-issued government-printed dollar credit and not capitalist profit. And
That's
he was,
fact.
yeah, and he thought that was like a crazy thing to say. I was like, yeah, it's not based on capitalist competition or profit since 2008. It's based on quantitative easing and government issued.
Any moderate economic economist believes in that too. Why is that a conspiracy?
Bro, I don't know. He's just not knowledgeable. He's not knowledgeable about the real world. He's only knowledgeable about the headlines.
No, I don't believe that. I believe he is knowledgeable. He refuses though.
Dude, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know. It's like
No,
I
dude. Liberals are dumb. Steven's not dumb. He plays dumb.
You think
He know.
so?
You think he fucking actually thinks the Great Reset is a fucking conspiracy? Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Dude, I don't know what I don't know what I don't
No,
I
bro. No, bro. He trust me when I say when he goes to bed, he assumes that a lot of change is coming with enormous speed, like Klaus said.
Yeah, I mean, he's gotta, dude. I refuse to believe somebody could be this fucking stupid. Be real.
Yeah, he's not dumb. He's not dumb.
He can't be this non-knowledgeable, dude, you know? You gotta have some knowledge of how.
Now his community is dumb as fuck. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. They're very stupid. They think, bro. They thought that Epstein mainstream articles were conspiracies. I'm like, yo, it's the fucking
Bro, no,
mainstream.
hold on. I
The
wonder,
fucking mainstream.
is it a conspiracy that the Kyle Rittenhouse trial was filmed by every media, 24-hour coverage, but the Ghislaine Maxwell trial is given no coverage at all anywhere, and they're not filming it or
Bro,
anything?
clearly you're just a conspiracy
Yeah,
theorist
that must be, dude.
because
There's
the
no
fact that
cameras in
hold
the
on
courtroom.
the fact that you know who Ghislaine is proves that the media is not hiding her from you.
Bro, I can't believe it. It's like with the Kyle Rittenhouse, 24 hours, 7-day a week coverage for that forever. The Ghislaine trial, nothing.
You know what's funny is there was a month before the Epstein stuff where I said politicians traffic children, and everyone on Twitch called me a conspiracy retard. And I'm like, dude, these articles are in Australia, they're in Berlin, they're in every fucking newspaper, and they're like, yo, you're just a conspiracy theorist. And
No,
then
but
when it leaked, bro, then it's all like, what the fuck?
then all of a sudden the leftists became conspiracy theorists.
I swear to God, sit in a room filled with libs and say right now, say politicians traffic children. There'll be one that laughs hysterically, and then when you mention the Epstein stuff, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, but that's one guy." They're so fucking weird, bro. They're so fucking weird. And yo, bro, if you read the list of Epstein Island Democrats, bro, they'll always point to the one Republican. It's fucking weird.
Oh my god. Yeah, bro. Yeah, fucking that no one's going to talk about Bill Clinton being on the fucking plane.
Yeah, it was 19 times. That's a conspiracy, bro.
Yeah, apparently that's just a yeah, it's all a
Bro,
conspiracy.
he just liked the island.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to be vindicated because bro, I said 2 years from now, probably 1 year from now, dude. I
Well,
can't believe I can talk to someone and ask, are the Republicans gonna clean house in 2022? And they say, probably not. Maybe. Like you live in Canada, but you know enough about what's going on in the US to know the Republicans are winning 2022, right?
well, I'm gonna be honest, okay? There'll be a resistance, but winning Republicans beating social media tech giants like this, hell no, I can't see them winning. But will there be a resistance from the shadows of everyone who's banned off social media? Yeah, 100%.
Bruh, listen, there was a election in Virginia recently and elsewhere. The Republicans cleaned house with the fucking Democrats.
I know, bro. Mute the stream. I got something to tell you.
Okay, hold on, I'm unmuted. Yeah, bro. It's like a lot of people think that this is how they think, right? They think, oh, I go on Twitter and I go on Twitch and I go on YouTube and I don't see these people anymore, so they don't exist no more. And I'm like, dude, there's a whole shadow internet that you don't know about.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's hilarious because it's not even a shadow internet. There's shadow opinions of people on the internet that don't give their real opinion.
yeah, yeah, for
So,
real.
and you know what's funny is like, you can even see waves of the divide in the U.S. by "Let's Go Brandon" and all that shit, right?
Nah,
You can
yeah, it
you
was
can
the
you
top
can.
of Apple. It was on top of Apple Music.
Oh, let's go. Brandon's just a conspiracy theory, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's anti-Semitic. Never mind.
Yo, and another thing, bro. When you and Destiny once argued a year ago or 2 years ago that social media isn't controlled by Dems. He said most social media's favors the right wing or something. I was like,
What the
wow,
fuck? Yeah,
yeah.
bro. This.
No, bro, you can sum up Destiny's fucking greatest argument of all time. I forgot he was talking to, but the guy said most men are stronger than women, and Steven said, "What about Ronda Rousey?" He's like, "You think you can take Ronda Rousey?" And the funniest part of that argument is, "Yes, I can. I can take her."
Dude, there was that thing where the fucking women's soccer team was beaten by 10-year-olds.
Yeah, yeah.
You know
No,
what
it
I'm
was
talking?
16-year-olds, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Like, what the fuck?
No, one thing that was crazy eye opening to me was someone in chat said a 14-year-old boy can out wrestle a grown woman.
Yeah,
And I'm like, yeah, he can easily do it. I never thought of that.
it's true. Obviously, it's true.
No, but you got to debate Destiny more often. I just tuned in last second. I'm like, oh, this is gold, man.
Right? It's so boring though. It's like it's always the same thing. He just gives up. He just goes,
Yeah, you
okay,
know what's weird is that's not his style. It's only with you.
yeah. He just gave up. I had to keep like pushing it along because he kept wanting to give up early. It's so weird. But it always happens unexpected. I never look to debate him. It just always happens. Oh, I'm gonna be debating him in person.
When?
January. There's like an event that I got invited to in
No shot.
Texas. And yeah, in Texas in January. It's like in Houston or some shit. And
No shot, bro.
yeah.
You're gonna have your fucking bro. That sounds kind of dangerous. I'm not gonna lie,
Why?
because those like I don't know. Just in person, like I obviously Steven's the normal guy, but his chat,
You
you
think
could
they
get
would
doxxed. Yes, they would dox you.
well they would
They would.
dox me, but how would they?
I'm just saying, in person, I wouldn't. Like I wouldn't trust anyone there.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm just gonna go to the event and you think I'd get like followed back to my hotel or some shit?
No, no, but recorded. I'm saying you might get recorded.
Oh yeah, yeah. Nothing will happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no. You know what's crazy is that I have a conspiracy theory, right?
yeah,
You know how Destiny always debates everyone?
yeah, yeah.
He turned down every single debate with you on my Royales, which was weird. And so did Irrelevant when I invited him for a Royale with you, right?
I just think they see me as like I'm outside of their like bubbles or whatever. I'm not like debating what the media is always saying. I'm bringing new stuff, and they don't like the new stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
talk about shit that you don't see on Twitter or on the media.
No, no, you have some offline conversations live. That's why they don't like you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Another thing too is this is unrelated, but dude, you gotta send me that address in LA
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the date.
I didn't book the flight. I didn't book the flight yet.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't do it yet. I'm about to do it today
I
or
thought you
tomorrow.
already did. Yeah, I'll book it as soon as you do. Book the
Yeah,
flight.
yeah,
But
yeah. And I'm thinking of staying like maybe fucking 14 days.
Are we gonna go to Austin?
I don't know, man. I really don't know because this trip is costing so much money already, like a shit ton of money.
What, for the Airbnb?
Yeah, I'll tell you the stuff offline, but basically,
Yeah.
bro,
Just
these
to let you
snake.
know, I don't know if this
Yeah,
save money or whatever, but I can get a place for free.
yeah, but that means we're with some fucking stranger, right?
No.
What? Just us?
Yeah. Well, how much of us are there? I don't know how many people can fit.
Wow, what is it? An apartment?
No, it's a hotel.
How do you get it for free?
I'll tell you offline, but it's yeah. All
If
set.
it's some sketch shit,
It's
bro.
not sketch. It's not sketch.
Okay, do I gotta suck someone off?
No, it's
Because
family.
I'm willing. I'm
It's my
willing to.
I have relatives.
Oh, okay. But
Basically, I have relatives that have a timeshare that they're gonna give me because they're not going anywhere for Christmas.
are you fucking serious? So I don't have to spend a dime?
I have to see how big it is because how many people are gonna be in it?
Bro, I'll kick everyone out. It'll be us two.
Oh, us two is easy. Yeah, us two is easy. But here's the thing.
What?
I
So
don't
yo,
know.
I can have it for 14 days?
No, probably just 7, and then we have to go somewhere else.
Oh, that's even better, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, bro, then food's on me. What the fuck?
Yeah. That's what I was trying to tell you. Yeah, it's free, 7 days. But
How the hell, dude? I seriously doubt you can do that.
it's my relative's timeshare, dude. Trust me.
Have you done it before?
Yeah, years ago.
Oh my fucking god, yo, that's actually insane. Oh, where? What part of the city?
I don't. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you because I think we have options because it's a hotel
Oh
thing.
my
Yeah,
god, bro. Okay, I gotta call you when I'm offline.
yeah,
What the fuck? Yo, there's
yeah.
a Royale today. Are you coming?
Yeah, of course.
Dude, hold on. Are you fucking serious? We actually have options?
Yeah.
Oh, that is fucking insane. And yo, the best part is
Hold on, I'm
we'll
gonna
have
mute and I'm
people.
gonna tell you one of the options we have.
You
Ready?
don't have to mute. You don't have to mute.
No, I'll tell you it. I don't want people to know. Yeah, bro. So wait, how many people though? Because is this gonna be us two or
That's the thing. The other people are just visitors. They're not gonna live with us.
wait? They're not gonna like
Right?
stay with us?
Nah, because they already live in the city. They have their own.
Oh, but isn't
Yeah.
hold on? Didn't I'm gonna mute 1 sec. Is
He lives
bruh?
because all these people live.
Yeah, bruh. Then yeah, you should have told me that. Cause yeah, if it's just gonna be us two, that's easy. Just 2 people, easy.
That's and yo, if it's like some Motel 6, I'm down with that
No,
too.
it's not. It's a really nice one too.
No,
Trust me,
bro, Motel 6, bro. I know a guy. He can get me a
bruh.
gram for
Listen,
20.
when you see
Yo,
it,
bro, he can get me a gram for $20. Like a
dude, trust
real
me.
pure. Are we live?
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
yeah, bruh. Zerka. When
I'm
you see
listening.
it, you're gonna be like, "Holy fuck! How did you get this?" Cause it's gonna be that nice. Trust me.
That's really. Are you the last person on earth that I thought would have a fucking hotel hookup?
Yeah, bro. I got relatives.
Dude, that's actually a fucking blessing, bro.
Yeah, yeah, bro. And
And
it's
are you taking a plane?
yeah. Well, obviously, what the fuck. I live in Michigan.
No. If you want to rent a car, we can fucking rent a car. We can actually rent a Ferrari now. What the fuck?
No, bro. Yeah, wait. We should rent a car probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do that.
I'll give you money. We rent it under your name.
Okay, yeah. Wait, so should we fly in the same day then?
Yeah, like we should have a full 7 days together. And yo, I don't know if you know anything about me, but like I like to do in and out, bro. I don't have in and out, so I do it every day.
Oh, like Uber Eats or whatever.
Yeah, bro. Like we don't have it in Canada, so I'm gonna fucking go
Bro,
hard on the in and
I'm
out.
gonna get like a week, 2 week membership at a gym too.
I'm so down to train.
Yeah, bro, it's gonna be fun.
I'm so down to fucking train. Like, what's our scheduling gonna be like? What time are we gonna wake up usually?
That can change, but it's 3 hours. So it's 3 hours earlier than me. So
Can we get two bathrooms, or is that possible?
I'll see. I'll see. I hopefully. But
Yeah, yeah.
the
Because,
bathrooms, I'm pretty
bro,
sure
because when I was in fucking Austin,
yeah.
I got the two bathrooms, and Snooker and I would always take a shit at the same time, and we'd scream at each other from different bathrooms as we're shitting, and sometimes we'd even FaceTime each other and shit. And yeah, we need two bathrooms, bro.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I can't guarantee that though, but I'll see what the bathroom is gonna be really nice too though. Really like
That's sick.
shower and everything.
No, that's sick.
I might
If
even be able
I
to
just
get
want to,
like 2 rooms.
yeah, obviously. Well, you know
Yeah.
what? Even if I was to take a fucking couch, I'd be happy. To be honest,
No,
I don't
no,
give a fuck.
it's no. It's probably gonna be 2 rooms, but it's not gonna be couch. It'll be 2 beds. 2 beds.
Yeah,
At
and
least
this
at
place is
least it'll be two
fancy.
beds.
This place is fancy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we shouldn't be that loud and shit.
Uh I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Why are you laughing like I'm saying we're banging each other, bro?
No, I'm saying I don't know what limits we can push when it comes to being loud. Like
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. This is gonna be hilarious because
we
first of
we
all,
do need our own rooms though because
have
like
you tried, bro? Have you tried Tinder in LA?
nah, I need
Bro,
to get
it's
in.
the bro. I just put streamer on my Tinder, right? Or partner Twitch streamer, and it's the funniest fucking DMs ever, bro. It's like they're fucking. They will see us as a like. I look like a Christ-like figure when I'm out there. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
we,
hilarious.
I
Fucking
copied the Destiny thing where he just like uses his cloud thing.
bro, it's gonna be Christmas too, and this is gonna be so fun. I swear to God, it's gonna be so
I
fun.
know, dude. It's gonna be yo. We'll do a fucking. I'll cook you a turkey. How about that?
Nah, bro, how you gonna cook a fucking turkey in a hotel room? The fuck?
It's possible when you have an oven.
Nah, bro. Fuck that, bro. He's gonna smell that shit up, bro. Fucking L.A. It's gonna be crazy. Do you think it's more busy or less busy on during Christmas? Oh, you know what? We have to go see the new Matrix. Let me look up when it is. Four. Go hello. Fuck. December 22nd. Damn, this one is coming out.
Yo, we're gonna get some OnlyFans girls to cook the turkey and shit.
Bro, Matrix comes out the 22nd.
I'm down. Yo, let's do edibles and watch it, bro.
Is it legal in California?
Yeah, and if it isn't, who gives a fuck? Because I'm doing all sorts of shit there.
I mean, like, can you just buy it from the dispensary?
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
Oh, base, yeah.
some people even give it out for free on the streets. It's so crazy.
I don't trust that, but bro, listen. I'm on mute, dude.
That's crazy, bro. I want to tell.
Unmuted. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what would happen if you said that unmuted?
I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know.
Oh, you're just being paranoid. Okay.
Just being safe. Yeah. But yeah, bro, it's gonna be crazy. And fucking dude, the only thing I gotta watch out for in LA is I can't get fat because that's
You
the
won't
only.
you won't get fat because we'll have so much to do. It's not like It's not
Yeah.
really like we're not staying in one spot. We're moving around a lot, and plus you won't get fat because there'll be so many chicks. So like you'll lose appetite and get hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense? What I
Yeah. Yeah.
say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I noticed food only tastes good when you're like kind of locked up and have no chicks, right? And
Yeah,
then
bro. Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
also, bro, we're gonna do a lot of blow together.
Nah, chill, bro.
Yo, Chad,
Yeah.
if he loses a lot of weight, bro, this guy's on coke. I'm
Nah.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah. The fuck, man.
Yeah. And yo, we're actually gonna bro, I'm not even gonna I'll never fucking stream you. I'll only capture a good angle. I'll put the phone down. I'll be like, yo, do you like this angle? Do you think you look good here? And you'll be like, yeah. And I'll hit live and I'm gonna surprise you with a ton of chicks on stream, bro.
Bro,
Right?
fucking. I'm bringing my laptop, so we're gonna be able to do indoor streams too. Like
Yeah, I was
sitting
thinking,
down.
should I buy a laptop for all this or should we just use yours?
Mine is really, really good, but you should probably get a laptop anyway. You know, it's useful. You
Yeah.
should probably get one anyway. And then if you want, you can just return it. If you
I
get
was
it from Best Buy, you can just return it at a Best Buy in LA.
Yeah. You know how I know I need a laptop? Because I'm like,
Oh, you just left. I don't know what the fuck happened. All right. Did the fucking Royale start? Well, I don't think it's gonna start for a while because the intros are usually super long. Intros super usually. What laptop I got? I have a what is it? It's Asus. I got the Asus. It's a sick Asus laptop. It's actually sick. Gonna be crazy. Oh, he calling. Yo, hello.
yo, I just realized, isn't Destiny in LA?
Fuck. I don't know. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Fuck, dude. You know, the only way out, I'm
Yeah.
gonna, the only fun thing we could do, tell him don't go live so his community's not there, and us three chill offline together and just eat. Yo, we get to talk shit. Offline, he's so funny, bro. Bro, offline,
I'm
he's no
down, dude.
lip. Offline, he's no lip, bro. He's normal. I'm
But
serious, dude.
isn't dude the
Yo,
Kiana's there too?
no, she's in San Diego.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought she does the IRLs.
no.
Bro, fuck San Diego. That place sucks. Oh
Kiana's so
wait, is the
sweet.
zoo in LA? Because we should go to a zoo too.
Uh, I thought the zoo was in San Diego.
Oh fuck,
I'm
how far is
so fucking down to IRL stream the zoo,
it? Yeah, yeah.
bro. We're getting kicked out, man.
Bro,
Dude,
we
that's
have
the thing, bro. That's the thing is like, we also have to be a little mature because you and I are not we're not the Nelk boys. They will tase us to death. You know
You're
what I mean?
actually
Like
right. You're actually
they're
right.
gonna see us as terrorists, so we need to calm down when we're out there.
Yeah, bro. I gotta be careful too because I know you act crazy and shit, and that
Bro,
part of
LAPD are straight up. They'll shoot us for no reason, bro.
yeah, we gotta be careful, definitely.
Yeah.
Shit, man. I'm gonna make sure before I go, I get a haircut. I'm gonna get my beard good and everything, and then I'm gonna worry about shit. You know?
Yeah, no, you're gonna see, bro. We're gonna be smashing chicks in flip flops. You don't need to look good.
Yeah. Fucking who else is in LA that we know?
I I never remember, but people just, bro. I'll be walking on the street and people just come up to you, like they come out the woodworks, bro. So I never remember. All I know is we must see Manuel first, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
Manny is the greatest dude, and he's
yeah.
he's he's just like a homie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For real, yeah. Fucking
What else do
Gosh,
people do in LA? I was thinking you and I
we
could go to the
could
church.
go to like
Let's do you and I go to the Church of Scientology.
We'll do that. We'll definitely stream that, but we can also go to like Disney World or some shit, a Universal.
Whoa, bro! This is my first trip where I'm not with just a broski. Like offline, I actually get to talk about politics and shit I'm interested in. And yo, I actually get to break down society with you live. Like I can drive. We could go to Walmart and I could be like, look at this fucking shit. That's actually hilarious, man.
Dude, they even have
Yo,
fucking Walmarts.
let's dress up as characters, man.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking of going full Trump supporter.
Nah, dude, you have to be careful in LA. You'll get attacked.
No, bro, I did it last time. They did nothing.
Really?
Yeah, bro, I'm actually a lot bigger than I look, dude. Like, I'm actually, dude. They'd have to be Dwayne Johnson size to fucking land a good hit on me and shit. That I'd feel, you know. Like, we can dress up as anything, bro.
Hold on. I'm gonna mute 1 sec.
No, make edgy jokes.
No, I'm muting. Yeah.
Bro, that is. I don't know why you muted. I think that's allowed to say.
Okay.
No, dude. You know. The weird thing is, you haven't been in LA in a while, right?
Oh, it's been like 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no reception at Venice Beach. I know it's hard to believe, but
Really?
you can only record. You can't go live on Venice Beach. It's the worst connection ever.
Is Venice Beach where they got the outdoor gym?
Yes.
Is that like accessible to everyone?
Basically, Venice Beach is filled with the ugliest people you'll ever see in your life.
Why would we go there?
That's the weird thing is like you think LA is all beautiful people and shit, but nah, bro, that's the hills, and those people are like augmented and fake.
Why don't we go to like a better beach? There's like Laguna Beach and all that shit.
No, I'm saying, dude, watch around LA. You're gonna say to yourself, "Wow, just Americans are ugly in general."
Really?
You're gonna be shocked, bro.
More than Austin?
Me and Canute were shocked.
Hold on, more than Austin?
Identical.
No, because let me tell you what, Austin had a bunch. Everyone was thick in Austin. Every girl I saw, fucking fat ass Austin.
Oh, like you liked it?
Yeah,
What in the clubs or where?
everywhere you'd go, I'd be like, damn, this ain't Michigan. But listen,
No,
Ink
bro,
Bites is asking, is the Royale happening? People are in the Discord.
yeah, it's happening. It's happening.
All right, yeah. So yeah,
All right,
it's
yeah.
confirmed.
Oh, I'm gonna go live right now. Peace.
All right, hold on, wait. Should I raid you right now or should I wait?
We'll finish what you're talking about and then raid.
Okay, yeah, I'll raid. All right, see you later.
And yo.
Yeah.
How's his chat? Give subs if you think he beat Destiny.
All right, see you later, man.